Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Got a great one from Starship today. We're learning how to do Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. Massive hit. Great guitar work by Craig Chaquico. So we're gonna do something a little bit different than I usually do. We're gonna do his solo first. I think most people are here for that. There's not a lot of guitar going on beyond that. It's mostly kind of synth tracks and stuff. Now, so we're gonna do the solo first. We'll do Craig's solo, which is a great solo, by the way. And then we'll go through the whole song, all the chords for the song. It's gonna be mostly an arrangement of the synth parts. Not very hard to play there though, so pretty easy song all around for the rhythm work, but Craig's solo's got some tricky stuff in it though. But we're gonna look at that note for note first. Now, before I get into it, subscribe to the channel. When you like these videos and you comment on them, it really helps YouTube go, hey, people like this stuff, so let's send it to more people that are already subscribed anyway. So please do that for me. And if you truly want to support what I do here on YouTube, since all the artists that I make these lessons for, they get all the revenue from it. They claim these copyright before I even publish the video, it's claimed. So all the revenue from the videos goes to the artist, that's fine. But if you can really support me by clicking the link in the description, that's what keeps all this stuff really going. It's a link to my Guitar Academy. That's a YouTube only link, which gives you 40% off my annual price. And so if you go to my website, you're not gonna find that there. You're gonna have to actually do it from that link, but that'll take you right there and you'll be able to get that massive discount and you have it for life. That price will never change. And you get free 7-day trial if you've never had a subscription before. So you'll be able to support this channel and you'll also be able to get full access to all my courses, my weekly live streams with just Academy members, personalized support from me beyond that. So please go check it out. All right, let's jump into the track. Now, before I say anything else, we are tuned down a half step. So this one's a weird one because, but with the tuning, with the mostly keyboard tracks, they don't really care, well, does this work good on guitar or not? So for it to work the best on the guitar, you're gonna wanna tune your guitar down. So I believe there is guitar throughout the song, very low in the mix, like some power chords. So I believe they are tuned down a half step, but I can't find video of Craig playing this back in the 80s and stuff when he was still a member of the band, because I always wanna go to the original, because you can see other guitar players playing it, more recent members, but you wanna see how Craig played it to really kind of see how it's done. But I can't find any. I didn't look that hard, but so I'm assuming we're in E flat tuning, all right? So let's just, so get your guitar in E flat tuning. So every string down a half step, so this E becomes an E flat. A becomes an A flat. D is a D flat. G is a G flat. B down to a B flat. And then E down to an E flat. Does anybody really tune to a video? Just who doesn't have an electric tuner? They're like $5. Those notes will be in the description below if you do have a tuner, and you can just tune it from there. All right, so let's go to this solo first. So this solo happens right when there's a key change in the song. So the key goes, so it's the same. There's a lot of the same progression throughout the song, except for like kind of the bridge. But when we get to the solo, the key jumps up a half step, all right? So we go from to, so it's gonna start here, moves up to A flat. So I'm gonna start here with this little power chord here, not power chord, just a full A flat major chord here. Kind of starts the solo well. So that's the 11th fret there on the A, then the 13th across the D, G, and the B. And then from there we have the first phrase. So that's going to start with a pull off from 15 to 13 on the G string. Then over here to the 16th fret on the B string, and then slide up to 18. And then back to the 15th fret there on the G string. Kind of a little situated a little bit, and then pull off that 13. So we have this. Next little phrase. So that slides into the 15th fret there on the D string. And then when you slide up there, then you're gonna grab the 18th on the G string. But then you're gonna move the bass note down. Because kind of rotates off that note on the D string where the notes kind of move down on the top. But so the first note you hit there on the D string is at the 15th fret, and then you hit that 18th fret on the G. But then when you continue the melody, the lower note is now going to be the 13th on the D. So then it goes 13 on the D, 17 on the G, back to that 13 on the D, 15 on the G, back to that 13 on the D, and then over the 13 on the G. So it is. I'm going to try to slowly kind of. Then come over to the 15th fret there on the D string. Kind of a few bend and releases there, whole step bend and release. And then down to 13 on the D. So from there we have the next phrase. So that starts with kind of a quick staccato note here at the 13th fret there on the B string. And then a whole step at the 16th fret. Release, and then bring that whole step up at the very end. And then you're gonna come over to the 16th fret there on the high E string. So that's a whole step bend, hold it, and then go up 2 whole steps from, another whole step from there, making it 2 whole steps total. And then you release that, mercifully release that 2 whole step bend. Bring down to the 16th fret, and then the pull off to 13. You can slide off that, so it is. All right, from there we have the next phrase. So kind of a bluesy thing. We're gonna start with this, sliding into the 15th fret there on the G string into a whole step bend on it. And then we'll come up here and grab the 13th fret on the high E. Then play 16, 13 on the B string. Then, so after that, 16, 13 on the B string. There's a bend and release at the 15th fret there on the G string. It almost sounds like it. After that bend and release on the 15, it almost sounds like he jumps straight over here to the 15th fret on the D, and then rolls back to the 15 on the G, back to the 15 on the D, then back to the 13 on the G, and then do that again. 15 on the D, roll to 15 on the G, 15 on the D, back to 13 on the G, and then end it on that 15 on the D string. So it's kind of like. Now when you're playing that 13, you can do a little bit of bend on it if you want. It's kind of more just kind of accentuating that note a little. So all together. And then the last little lick. So that's gonna slide into the 17th fret there on the G string, over to 16 on the B. Now I'm doing it with these 2 fingers because I want to free up my index finger so I can slide with it very quickly up to here. And that is the 20th fret on the high E string, and then play 23, so way up here. So some vibrato on that, and you were done with the solo. So it's a really, really great solo. Fits the song perfectly. Not too long. Got a couple quick little licks in it, and that last thing was kind of tricky, sliding all the way up. But hope you guys got that down. So let's go into the chords. I'm gonna change to like a clean setting here. So these chords, when we start with this intro here, it's a lot of the same chord progression throughout, maybe a slight variation here and there. So this is just the intro of the song. Like I said, we're dealing with keyboard synth tracks here, so I'm just kind of emulating those. So it looks like this. All right, so it's kind of this progression that's going to be throughout a lot of the song. So we're going to start here with a G major chord. Instead of playing it like an open G, like that, I'm going to play it. It just sounds closer. It's got that nice kind of warmer note here. Instead of using the open B version of that. It just sounds closer to this. Just does this. It's kind of a little cowboyish. It doesn't really sound right. So full bar at the 3rd fret, 4th fret on the G, 5th on the D, and the A. Then we go to an E minor 9 chord. So this is the chord that they'll change up a little bit throughout the song. Sometimes I'll play it as an E minor 9. So both times you hear it in the intro, that's how it's played. And then you'll hear it sometimes in the verse played as an E minor 9, and sometimes as an E minor 7. And the pre-chorus as well too. I think it's just mostly an E minor 7 there. So we'll talk about that. So this E minor 9, open E. I'm gonna call it the open E unless I know we're tuned down a half step, but still gonna call it like a standard tuning. So we have the open E, 2nd fret on the A, 2nd fret on the D, open G, 3rd fret there on the B string. So that much makes it a E minor 7 chord. But if you add this F sharp on top, which is the 2nd fret there on the high E string, we have an E minor 9 chord. So from there we go to a C major chord, just kind of hold that for 4 beats. And then what we do here is an interesting change. It can be confusing. Sometimes it can sound like a little bit like a D sus4 resolving to just a D major. But you also hear the 2 go into 3. So it almost sounds like a D sus2 going to the D major. But what's happening here is we have an E minor 7 chord with D in the bass. So we have this open D string, then open G, 5th fret there on the B string, and then the 3rd fret on the high E. So we have those like this. So it's easy to play, but it's an E minor 7 with D in the bass. And then from there, you'll go to a D major. So you have that, and you also have both of those movements in there. So, all right, so the whole progression, that G to the E minor 9, 2, 3, 4. 4 beats on the C, and then 2 beats on that E minor 7 with D in the bass, and then to the D for 2 beats, and then you repeat that. So it can be kind of hard to hear this on the synth stuff, but. And then the verse comes in, and it's pretty much the same thing, but you can just do an E minor 7. So I think the first time you hear E minor 9, so just kind of do what you want with it. And then maybe the second time through, make it just that E minor 7. A little bit more subdued chord, it doesn't stick out as much when there's vocals going on. And then so that continues, and then the pre-chorus comes in, which is the same progression, continue again. Pre-chorus I consider is when Grace Slick comes in singing, which I think it is the pre-chorus. Anyway, it's just not my opinion. But so that's kind of more the same. We had that G to E minor 7. And then we're going to add an F in here. All right, so it's the same as the intro and the verse, except the second time through the chord progression, we do that G to E minor 7. When it goes to the C, it doesn't go straight to that little E minor 7 with D in the bass to a D. Instead, it throws throws an F major chord in there. So it goes from the G. So this is the second time through the pre-chorus, same chords. And then we have the F. All right, so that F is just the first fret on the across 6 strings. Then you'll have the second fret on the G, third fret on the D, third fret on the A. And then same ending. All right, so just threw a chord in there for like 4 beats. And then we get to the chorus. Now the chorus is really where you start hearing some real guitar coming in. So you can play it, you can just kick it into the some distortion and just play mostly like kind of power chords, or you can play the chords, but kind of looks like this. Ending there added to it. Now, so these chords, if you want, you can do, when you get to the D5, you can play it. You still hear that kind of thing going there, so you can make it like a D sus4, which is a 5th fret there on the A, 7th on the D, G, and the B. But you're gonna make it the, first you can put 8 on the B string. And you can still make it like a G major, but I wouldn't add those, just kind of the 4 bottom strings. Same thing in E minor. Get the G, but don't really need much more than that. And then when you get to the C, that sounds good, it's just a power chord. And then when you get to the D, you can do that sus4. Repeat. And then we're gonna end the song with an F. In the chorus. All right, so then it goes through the verse again, same verse that we did earlier, same pre-chorus that we did earlier. Then it starts going through the same chorus that we did, except it doesn't have, that second chorus doesn't have that F ending. Instead of, right from that D, like sus4 to the D, it goes to the bridge, straight from there. So the bridge has, kind of doing kind of this funky things, which I think is just mostly triads on the high string, but it makes for larger chord forms when you add the bass to it. So for the actual, just what's going on up top, you can't really hear what's going on like underneath, but I think it's just the Craig doing. Solo. But if you add the bass to those, you can do this. So you can add the actual full chord to it too, even though I think it's mostly created by the bassist and the guitarist together. You can do them all on one guitar. So anyway, so let's look at just the triads up top first, and I'll show you the bass notes you can add in. So we just basically this. I'll turn that delay off. So that's going to be the 7th fret on the high E, 8th on the B, 7 on the G. So it's a G major triad. From there we go to this D major triad, but it's over a B, which makes it a B minor 7 chord. So this, just the triad up top, which is the 7th on the G, B, and B, and the 5th fret on the high E. So that's just a D major triad, but if you add the B and the bass, up to you. You can hear the bass player obviously doing that, but. And then we go to this C major triad, which is the 5th fret on the G, 5th fret on the B, and 3rd fret on the high E string. That's underneath, that's on top of this C, so it's just a C major chord if you want to play the full chord. So this G, this opening G here, you can add the G and the bass here, or just here, but you can probably do it here. Which is that 5th fret on the D string, along with those here. So you can just play just the triad itself, or you can play it with the bass note in there. And then you have that D major, which you can play by itself, or add the B and the bass. Just give it the more full band effect. Then we have that C major triad, or you can make it a full C major chord. They're both C major chords. You put C in the bass, which is just that bar from the high E string on the 3rd fret to the 5th string, and then 5th fret on the B, G, and the D. Then it goes to it continues kind of hanging out on this C major triad, but we put an A in the bass. We play that 5th fret there on the D string, which is just an octave of that G you're already playing. So this makes it an A minor 7 chord. All right, so we have this, just a triad. Or with the lower harmony as well, so the full harmony. So you repeat that. And from this A, after doing that rhythm once on the A minor, he takes it to a D sus 4 chord. So this is just the, I'm moving it up here. You can do it here, but just it's closer to this next chord, which you have to do up here. So, actually not. But they have the 5th fret on the A, 7th on the D, 7th on the G, 8th fret on the B. And then you're gonna do 1, 2, 3 hits. So after you do that full rhythm, so it's coming from this A minor 7. Then move up 1 fret to make it an E flat sus 4. This is when we modulate up a half step. This, and then it goes to the guitar solo. So the guitar solo, now we can get back to some distortion. Just have some fun here. So the chords for this are the same for the solo, or the same for the outro chorus as well. So they just can't continue going there. But it's the same chord progression as that we've done already for the chorus and stuff. It's just a half step higher. So everything's 1 fret higher. So it looks like this. So it's going to continue that progression the whole time under the solo and the outro chorus. So it's just, like I said, you can play it as just power chords, sounds fine. Or you can try to do it as the full A flat major chord, just step up from that G, same way. And then the F minor. However you want to play it, just 1st fret on the low E string, 3rd on the A and the D, and the 1st fret on the G. That's all I would use of it. Then to the D flat power chord, which is the 4th fret on the A string, 6 on the D, and 6 on the G. And then you can go up to that E flat So it's just a step up from the chorus we did before, and still do that. Sus4 to the 6. It's the same move we did on the D before. Like I said, that's done in the synth. So if you just want to do the guitar part, it's power chords. All right, so that's about it for Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship. Great song, smash it. Great guitar work by Craig Chaquico. And hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.